Hey everyone, I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about, can Warner's DC Studios rise from the ashes with Superman? So there was this article that came out from the news media outlet called The Wrap. They are very similar to other news media outlets like The Hollywood Reporter, Deadline, Variety, Screen Rant, CBR, comicbook.com, MovieWeb, IndieWire, and they had this long article about the kind of expectations for James Gunn's Superman movie, because basically ever since the DCEU ended back in 2023 with Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, we knew that we would be eventually getting a new DCU cinematic universe, which is basically what James Gunn has mentioned several times. So DC fans have kind of always wanted something very interconnected, and it's going to be very much more interconnected this time around compared to that, I don't know what you want to call that other universe, dog, horse, monkey shit, like boo-boo trash, dog juice, vomit water, horse shit. So this universe is going to have everything tied from movies, TV shows, animation, and video games.
Yeah.
Not too sure if it's going to have its own comic book line yet. That would be pretty fucking cool if it had its own actual comic book line. And that's where the MCU failed at even back when they were in their, prime, actually. So James Gunn's Superman movie, we've talked about it at length at this point, and there's a lot of implications with it too, from what I gather from the article that we're going to cover in just a moment here. So the movie's budget has been revealed per some sources. Now, people said James Gunn debunked it. Well, obviously, guys, he's not going to tell us what the budget is because, reasons, obviously. I would just say this, for the movie to be considered a success, it would probably have to take in about $700 million. That would, to a studio, look very, very impressive. Now, keep in mind, the theater cuts and all that shit would make it way less. But if the movie has a $200 million budget attached to it, keep in mind, The Flash had a similar budget to the movie. The Flash needed $700 million to break even. And that movie took in, well, nothing, because that's the joke. No one watched it. Yeah. So, looking at it now, the expectations versus reality and versus what actually needs to happen as an outcome for James Gunn's Superman movie is going to be upon us very, very soon. It comes out July 11th, 2025. So if we're looking at it now from where what we see is going to happen, then we're all going to be happy with the big boy Blue Scout as he's going to arise from the ashes, So if you guys hadn't seen that on screen, I actually accidentally minimized the tab, so everything went black. And I was
I was wondering
oh my God,
what was going on there. I was like, oh, shit.
Everything's black, So I'll ask Lunchbox Warren, what do you think needs to happen with James Gunn's Superman movie? Because I know a lot of you guys think like Fantastic Four is going to be competition. I don't. It also, based off what we know now, it's that test screenings went kind of left. It's kind of mid. It's like, that should be expected, though. There should be no expectation for the MCU anymore other than nothing. Your movies are going to be bad until proven otherwise.
The new trailer looked good. The new trailer was the best looking trailer yet of the Fantastic Four. But with Superman, I was reading, what was it? The leaked budget was 233 or something like that. Like it was like 200 million, 233 million, something along those lines, which we were guessing like between 150 to 200 million. So it's kind of where we thought it was going to be. And I agree with you. I think 700 million is the the lowest bar that they would accept. I would like to think this movie is going to be just under $1 billion. Like I think it's going to be between 700 million and $1 billion. I
Yeah.
think it's going to do really good in the overseas markets. I think it's going to do good in America.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more lighthearted, and it's very hopeful, and it's kind of one of those things where it has a lot of hype going for it right now. So I see it doing really well. I see it doing better than Fantastic Four overall, but it's just going to be, it all.
Because the thing with Fantastic Four is like, why should we expect anything out of the MCU at this point, guys? Like the test screenings, I'm not saying that they're true, but these are the same similar reactions that we got to Brave New World. They're like, it's not a disaster like everyone is saying, but it's also not good. It's also not great. They just kind of called it just mid. So that's what the kids are saying these days when a movie's just average, they just call it mid.
Yeah.
So reactions have been kind of rather average on it. Yeah, I didn't expect anything else from the MCU after having watched Check's Notes all their movies recently.
Well, and
why would I be surprised?
Thunderbolts is critically and audience-wise acclaimed. A
Yeah,
lot
and
of
I like
people
Thunderbolts.
liked it,
Yeah,
and it didn't do that well box office-wise. So, like, I don't see like Fantastic Four. The hype isn't there, and I haven't seen anything that would restore that faith that Marvel's lost.
because the thing
Marvel's
is,
working
Fantastic
against
Four,
itself.
what people have to factor in is Fantastic Four, despite comic books, it's a known team. People know who they are, but that's not the problem with them. The problem with the Fantastic Four is the previous Fox Fantastic Four movies that came out, not the original one. I'm talking about the ones with Jessica Alba, right?
Those
Chris
Fox
Evans.
ones.
Yes, people have to remember. And you had the one with Michael B. Jordan that's considered like Fantastic, one of the worst things ever made in the history of superhero movies. Yeah, people don't think they're going to do a good job with this one because the other three were bad. People say, but it's a different company, different time. That's not how casuals think, guys. Casuals think it's like a sports team. You know how you get a new sports team each year, but you think in the back of your head, oh, it's just going to be the same thing. Yeah, it doesn't matter if there's new people there. If the narrative and with the outcome of the situation hasn't changed, it's going to be as bad as Rise of the Silver Surfer? No. But it's like, let's not pretend that these Fantastic Four has always had some great movies. Like, no, even the very first one I ever watched, the 2005 one, that one's pretty just, we
haven't had any good Marvel movies either. Like, there should be it's not like, yes, where someone could be like, well, you're right, all the other Fantastic Four movies were garbage, but Marvel's doing really good right now.
Yeah.
Well, no one's going to say that because they're not. So it's really got a lot working against it, especially if Superman is good. Because Superman's going to come out almost 2 weeks after Jurassic Park. So it's going to be right. It's going to take all the momentum for at least 2 weeks. And if it's really good, and fantastic, it might just, like I said, it's possible that it outsells Fantastic Four on its premiere.
I'm not even going to be surprised if it does. Fantastic Four shouldn't even be on DC's radar. That shouldn't even be a thought in the back of your head. Because the thing with Superman going into it is this is essentially their last shot at doing this kind of thing, of building a cinematic universe, a cohesive one that has quality movies. Like, because essentially, this is the thing that I'm thinking. If Superman turns out good and DC starts putting out good movies consistently, I would say this. Marvel starts looking at their teams and going, hey, we got to change. Because I think the reason why DC, like back in the day when the DCE was kicking off, Marvel didn't care if they existed because people knew that was going to end up being a dumpster fire anyway. And they were right. They had no real competition with them. That should have been competition. It had all the reason to believe it should be, but it just panned out like crap. Things are different now. Now, things are turned now. Maybe DC gets to be the company that's putting out good movies that people are interested in. They bring the casuals in, and Marvel's the company that's like people will eventually say this. Man, I wish Marvel could get back to being like this. That's gonna really sting if that really happens. So the reason why I want Superman to beat Fantastic Four is because I want Marvel to look at that and go, hey, you guys need to be doing something like this. You guys are doing it all wrong. Whatever you're doing is fucked completely. Let's like change it up now. Because I know the reason I know they're not is because the Avengers movies are coming out and they're gonna make a lot of money. And they're gonna go, whoa, it's still working, right? Even though those are just fucking,
well,
exemptions to the rule or whatever that saying is.
Well, here's something too. I was if Superman does good, and then it's going to take more than just Superman doing good to really shock everybody. So let's say Superman does really good,
Yeah.
and then the Supergirl's really good, and Clayface is good, and the Green Lantern series is good, and it just starts cascading. And Marvel, I've heard, I don't know if it's true, but one of the leaked rumors was that in Avengers Doomsday, just to afford the cast was $250 million. That the budget of the film could be up to like $500 million. If that is true,
Good
the
Lord.
movie's going to have to make $2 billion to be considered a success. I would be. I seriously think that if Superman is good and Avengers bombs, Kevin Feige's done. Or if Fantastic Four bombs, Superman does good, and the budget for Avengers is ballooning true, we might not even get to see Avengers Doomsday. They might cancel it, and they might fire Feige and do a reboot by the end of this year. It's hard to say that to happen, though, because Spider-Man is still going. And there's rumors that I think Hulk is going to be in Spider-Man. I heard that. I also heard Daredevil, Punisher, and possibly Fisk. So that might keep it going. But I could seriously see a DC-style reboot at Marvel if Superman does good.
That's why people keep
Yeah.
like basically hinting at the Secret Wars is going to be that for them. Man, good. Like they've needed it forever at this point.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to hold my breath given their recent things that they've been doing. People seen the White Panther thing. We'll talk about that probably like next week. Holy fucking hell. I'll say this right now, not going into that fully because this is the Superman topic, but where's all those people at where they said, race doesn't matter, just as a fictional character? Eat my ass. Fuck you.
It's a symbol. What do you care about?
It's just a mantle. Why are you? We got a problem with black. Got a problem with white people? See?
I thought that was a fake article. I thought that was an AI
too.
image.
Yeah.
And then I started seeing it more and more, and I was like, what in the hell is Marvel thinking? Or like, oh, you guys think we're woke? We'll show you. Boom, White Panther. Like, whoa.
Because we always said, would you keep the same energy if they race swap Black Panther? People were like, but you can't do it based off nonsensical bullshit. It was always them deflecting. It's like that argument where they know they have no actual position, but they have to give you the most robot NPC response. They know it's wrong, but it's just them bullshitting.
Well, another thing too is if it's T'Challa's son, that means he's only half white, and so I mean it's the kid's mulatto, so the poor kid's now just being called white. I mean that's just kind of rude.
Yeah.
And, we got Hunter Iggy.
Oh
yeah.
We're gonna go over that right now.
Yeah. I could see that. That's probably where it's going to end up, is somewhere between 700 and $1 billion. High end 950.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
If it hits what Deadpool and Wolverine did last year, oh God, Warner Brothers won't stop bragging about that. And that's how you know when certain movies actually are profitable and good for them, is when they'll brag about it nonstop. They could not stop bragging about Barbie being their highest grossing movie ever.
Yeah.
They didn't stop because it actually made money for them. You know what's crazy is that studios don't have to make excuses for movies that flop. They'll just basically show you with their actions they're not flopping. But, they leave that for shills. Can Warner's DC Studios rise from the ashes with Superman? Analysis. James Gunn's reboot not only aims to restart the entire DC universe, but is one of Warner Brothers' most crucial releases of the year. All right, let's get into this long analysis, or you can say analysis. Joking. That'd be a porn star wife that I have who loves it in the ass. When Superman hits theaters on July 11th, more than just the future of the DC superhero wing hangs in the balance. The opening salvo in a rebooted approach to an interconnected DC universe, Superman, represents a make-or-break moment for Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav's strategy to leverage DC's intellectual property after previous Warner regimes struggled for years to build a cohesive cinematic universe that connected with global audiences. People forget, it wasn't being called Superman initially before. It was called Superman Legacy. But it's actually a fun fact. We never actually had a Superman movie just called Superman. It was always Superman the movie, Superman Returns, his nickname, which is Man of Steel. It's nice to finally have him, called a movie called Superman, like Jesus Christ. The litmus test will be whether director and DC Studios co-CEO James Gunn's film will generate enough box office to keep his head and co-CEO Peter Safran's ambitious 10-year plan for DC Studios on track. This is what DC fans were asking for a long time ago when Zack Snyder was the pseudo Kevin Feige, which was basically, hey, can we have someone in charge that has a plan? And keep in mind, if this person's plan fails and it sucks ass, I'd rather have that than random shit being thrown out there hoping that fucking something sticks. I just rather have that if you're just gonna ask me, because it was so cringe to have DC fans going like, but Marvel, they would praise Marvel for having interconnected universe, but then go like, but will we ever get movies like the Batman again? Yeah, because that's did so much for DC, just having random movies come out. Like, what? Keep in mind, DC, the animated universe you guys all know and love, started with Batman animated series, Superman animated series, then it went to Static Shock, then it went to Justice League. Yeah, they, guess what? They built it up. They all team up with Justice League. You like that, right? I don't get why they were arguing against having an interconnected universe. This is stupid. What? The best stuff you like was interconnected. And they were like, but like Marvel, it interconnects too much. Yeah, there's a problem with interconnectivity if you don't do it good. But to just not have it interconnected is stupid.
Marvel's problem was not too much interconnectivity. The problem was bad writing.
Yeah,
They got shitty writers, and sometimes they even care about writing. And to do an interconnected universe correctly, you have to have a lot of pre-planning. It takes a lot to organize that, and they just stopped organizing that ever since Endgame.
That's the thing. It was like, I just don't get why people are batting for that crappy DCEU the way it was built. That was terrible. No one liked that, and the box office showed in each movie progressively just got worse and worse. With a $225 million budget, Superman needs to cross the $700 million threshold at the global box office to be considered a success. Now, this is where the wording gets a little trickier for a lot of people. To be considered a success. That doesn't mean that it is a success if it hits that number. You guys understand that, though? I can consider something a success, but other people could go, well, you didn't hit this kind of milestone, so it doesn't really matter. That's like a sports analogy. So like the New York Knicks made the Eastern Conference Finals, but the New York Knicks just let go of their head coach, Tom, for not getting to the finals. You see that? Fans could consider getting to the Eastern Conference Finals a success, but to the org, not winning a trophy is that.
Warner Brothers might be like, if this film doesn't make $1 billion, we're not happy.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then that's the success line for it. We don't know. But I agree with this, though, that if it does anything under $700 million, there's no one can consider it a success.
That's true. And keep in mind,
no one's going to be able
this is not even counting marketing, so we know that's going to have a $100 million marketing tag to it, at least $100 million attached to it.
Yeah.
So if it has $100 million marketing attached to it, that would actually have to make this that would need to be at least 850, 900 at that point.
That's about right, because it would be 325. So then that would be 650 would be double that. So 700 million would be, you would be more than breaking even. So you could start considering it a success after that.
Yeah. So you need about at least 850, $900 million. Yep.
Yeah.
According to a top talent agent who spoke to the Wrap but wished to remain anonymous, says, and I quote, while release dates are important, I don't think the challenge is Jurassic World Rebirth or any other film. The agent said of the film's summer competition, the challenge is almost entirely a question of if Superman resonates with today's audience, did they successfully update an Eisenhower era character to the 2025 Gen Z audience can identify with? Whoever said that, to be anonymous, this is the reason why you guys keep failing. Stop trying to identify with today's audience. They don't even go watch your movies. This just needs to appeal to people. This needs to give people a hopeful, optimistic, bright Superman, and then they'll like it.
Yeah.
Gen Z kids, as they reported, are literally on their phones most of the time when they're watching a movie. They're not even paying attention. That shouldn't even be your target at all. That should be like a fucking, who gives a fuck if what they think, honestly. You want this movie to be attractive to mostly men of the ages between 18 to 65, people that are comic book fans, people that are casuals that just like this character and want to see him succeed. That's it. Gen Z shouldn't even be a fucking thought in the wind, honestly. The stakes couldn't be higher. The company is still carrying $37 billion in debt from the 2022 Discovery's Warner Media merger, making Superman's performance critical to Zaslav's use of franchise IP to drive both theatrical and streaming revenue. It's one of many IP pillars he reignited after the merger, along with HBO's upcoming Harry Potter series and a new Lord of the Rings film. Well, that new Lord of the Rings film actually just fucking tanked at the box office. That animated one.
Well, I think they're talking about rebooting the franchise. Also.
Like War of the Rohirrim, and they're having another.
That one was not good.
And they're having that Golem one come out, I think, next year, or 2027.
Yeah.
Harry Potter, you have the TV series for that. Because I remember he had that interview a long time ago, that earnings call, where he highlighted his most important franchises, which he said was Lord of the Rings, DC stuff, and Harry Potter. He also acknowledged Shark Week was really valuable. I remember that, David Zatzab. You highlighted Shark Week as one of your most valuable assets. And Shark Week is very, very big on TV still to this day. It's like
Rings of Power was a failure. The Harry Potter series is already kind of causing a lot of drama.
Oh, the Fantastic Beasts series, they stopped that. People didn't want any more of those movies.
So it'll be this.
Keep in mind, Rings of Power's not there. That's Amazon. So
they need a win. So they need something. They need to go good with this. And it has to be more than just this movie. But this movie needs to be $1 billion movie. That's what Warner Brothers wants. Yeah. They want it to be $1 billion movie that they can and they can start showing, like, if they can build up that good faith that Marvel had during the pre-Endgame era, where people were watching movies whether it was good or not. Like people like even Captain Marvel was making lots of money, even though it was a garbage film.
That's one of the most luckiest movies to ever exist. That is just luck on every level.
Because right now Marvel's facing, we can make good movies, but people aren't watching them because we made so many bad movies. Mm-hmm. So Fantastic Four is, it's a very important film, especially with moving back Doomsday, because the Avengers movie is 2027 now. There are no Marvel studio films between now
until the end of next year, because Doomsday got delayed until the end of next year. So that means that I think the only reason why they did it, two reasons, because they had to start, really working on, okay, what are we going to do with this movie? The second thing is that holiday season, it comes out during Christmas week. Now, that could ultimately save their butts with what it would have done if you released it earlier, but I digress.
No competition during that time period.
If that movie fails in that time period, burn your whole studio to the fucking ground, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, and that's a long time period with nothing coming out, when these films need to be very important. They have nothing building up the film except for the Spider-Man film, but that's Sony. So no Marvel Studio movies between Fantastic Four next month and Doomsday in 2027, December of 2027. That is a long time.
Yeah.
So, it's Marvel's in kind of Disney itself is in kind of a spot right now. They better hope Mandalorian's good, because
Miss Sparkles isn't watching that. That's the inside joke, guys.
Disney's gonna be owned by Apple if they keep this shit up.
Oh, good lord. In short, Superman is a major test, not just for the superhero genre, but Zaslav's vision for Warner Brothers as a whole. The $700 million threshold. The studio itself seems confident. According to one insider, if Superman grosses anything north of $500 million worldwide, the film will turn a profit at the box office, not inclusive of ancillary revenues. They just mean fucking marketing.
Ancillary.
Why can't you do the same marketing? Jesus Christ. Holy, you're so smart, Umberto. You just wrote ancillary. So smart. But that's not... I don't hate the rap guys. I don't, even though they've made some bullshit articles in the years past. That's not a success. That's not profit. I want you guys to understand. If the movie takes in $500 million when it's done, that's not profit. They debatably broke even. That's just a flat lie. I don't believe that. In the court of public opinion, however, it will need to gross closer to $700 million to be considered a hit. Yes, in that opinion, we are right, because we are not chills like you, Umberto. You fucking moron. Henry Cavill's previous outings as Superman, the Zack Snyder directed Man of Steel, which made $670 million worldwide, and the team-up movie that followed Batman vs. Superman, which cracked $874 million, provide the baseline, but neither film managed to spark universe-building success. Also, fun fact, BVS and Harry Potter Deathly Hallows Part 2 are the biggest openings they've ever had. That's crazy to think about, right? The ending of one franchise and the death of another. Mic drop. Exit the room. The simple brand recognition of Superman will probably take them to or close to $500 million worldwide, but anything above that will be because the audience identifies with the title character, the talent. Yeah. Characters like Superman, given their threshold, you're going to get a big audience just because that name just carries so much gravitas to it. And that movie is going to have insane word of mouth for years to come. If that movie is anything not memorable or not rewatchable, that's going to be not good, because the Superman movie, there's a lot of expectations there, obviously. The film is a true reboot of the property, written and directed by Gunn, who also serves as the co-CEO of DC Studios with his longtime manager and producers, Peter Safran. David Cornsweet, a 31-year-old actor whose biggest film role to date was in last year's Twisters, opposite Glenn Powell, who's butt-fucking Sydney Sweeney, fills the title role, while Emmy-winning Marvelous Miss Maisel actress Rachel Brosnan, what a name this lady has, plays Lois Lane, and Nicholas Hoult as the villainous Lex Luthor. If you guys remember Beast from the Fox X-Men movies, yep, Beast, that guy. It's Lex Luthor now. Looks a lot better as Lex Luthor than Jesse Eisenberg. Holy crap.
He looks pretty slick as Luthor.
I hope Rachel Brosnahan can play a better Lois Lane. Amy Adams, well, looks very, very hot. Very beautiful.
I liked her in the trailer where they're having the interview where she's interviewing him as Superman.
And then anything else after that was terrible.
Yeah, I liked her. I liked how her interaction with him on that. So, and they showed a little behind the scenes thing. They showed a clip from the movie, and she makes fun of Guy Gardner's hair. So that was pretty funny too. She said your hair should be against your vows, as she's like angrily walking away from him.
It's a young cast, and while the stars are far from unknowns, the ensemble doesn't have an A-list ringer that is sometimes used to entice audiences, such as Gene Hackman and Marlon Brando in the original 1978 Superman. I will say this. I don't disagree with this point, but given how the movie landscape is now, just because you have an A-list actor doesn't mean it's going to do well for movies. I mean, think you guys, hundreds of movies that have come out in recent memory, they had A-list talent that didn't make an impact at all. That kind of argument is going to be null and void very soon. Like, guys, The Rock, the biggest movie star in the world, couldn't make Black Adam $500 million at the worldwide box office back when it dropped in 2022. The Rock is the biggest movie star in the world, okay? Star power doesn't really have that kind of sway like it used to. That's unless you're literally fucking Tom Cruise or Denzel Washington.
Well, plus it's hard to get star power to stick around for 8 movies. Sometimes,
oh yeah,
you got to pay him a lot to do that. So,
this is Superman all in film. I would say this for me. I love my boy. This is my boy. I love Superman. My second favorite superhero of all time. Batman being my favorite. The original. Always a classic. One of my favorite super movies ever made, obviously, especially for the time period. It looks kind of goofy going back and rewatching it, but it definitely, the themes and the message and fucking
What his
Christopher Reeve playing
portrayal of
Superman.
Clark Kent and Superman
So
was
good.
no one's got even close to it yet, except
The
for
only person that I feel like matched it was Tyler Hoechlin in Superman.
yeah. I was going to say the same thing.
The only person who got it. Yeah.
He's even in this list, sadly overlooked Superman portrayal. He was, we got an amazing Superman TV series, and that does not get enough credit as it deserves.
Yeah. Brandon Routh. I think he was the right cast for Superman, but the way he was written in that movie just sucked. As you guys know, Henry Cavill to me is overrated as fuck. He's just so overrated. I don't think he's garbage. People think when I say I don't think he's good. Like, in my opinion, if you're gonna rank him based off a lot, like even the voice actors of Superman, it's hard to rank voice actors compared to live action actors. I would say you got Christopher Reeve, Tyler Hoechlin, Tom Welling, Brandon Routh, and then you would probably have Henry Cavill's probably going to be 6 when we're factoring in what David Cornsweet can do. And I'm looking at the trailers and I'm going, David Cornsweet probably has it as Superman. I don't know, but
yeah, Cornsweet's looking pretty good.
Oh, unless you count Dean Cain. I never watched Dean Cain stuff. People think I hate. I can't judge something I haven't watched, so I can't rank him if I haven't watched it. I'm not saying he was bad, but
he wasn't terrible, but it was also kind of like that '90s TV show, so it didn't really have much for special effects. And
why is my boy Tim Daly not getting no love? Like everyone that loves Superman from my era grew up with the voice actors of Superman in the Justice League Unlimited, Justice League animated series, and Superman animated series.
Yeah.
Superman, oh my god, Superman.
Tim Daly was my favorite. I love it because I remember that whole. I used to, as a kid, watch the Adventures of Superman and then the Batman TV series.
Yeah, it was George Newbern who was Justice League Unlimited. Yeah, did a fantastic job for the character. Oh my god, these guys were killing it back then. The voice actor who did it for Superman versus the Elite Four, very, very good job there. That's probably one of the best Superman movies they've created animated-wise. Animated-wise, Superman movies. Man of Tomorrow, that was in the Tomorrowverse. That's like their best movie. That Superman movie was so damn good. Tomorrow, go watch Man of Tomorrow. That movie is so damn good. The Stakes, I like mine well done. Superman is the... I'm doing this pineapple on pizza thing here again. Oh my god.
I will defend it to death.
You're gonna have fucking AIDS or something. Superman is the first film in a 10-year plan of interconnected films and TV shows that Gunn and Safran have planned to rival Marvel's MCU. Because it's kind of disingenuous that DC fans are going, but like they're not trying to compete with Marvel. Guys, shut up. Yes, they are. What else would they be doing this for? Because they truly want to just throw money in a fire pit? One they laid out when they first took over as co-CEOs of DC Studios at the behest of Zaslav in 2022. The rub, of course, is that Gunn is not just the co-head of this entire DC universe, but also directly responsible for the film. And if Superman underperforms, the larger plans face significant challenges. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, directed by the journeyman filmmaker Craig Gillespie, and slated for the release in 2026, is the only other DC movie currently guaranteed, as it completed production earlier this year. Keep in mind, that's a book written by Tom King. Keep in mind, I haven't read it yet. We will eventually go through it for the movie. Tom King is one of the advisors for the universe. I haven't read his stuff, but what I've heard, it's very divisive. So keep in mind, James Gunn also allowed that bitch who wrote Birds of Prey to be here too, Christina Hodson. Whew. Trash. Keep in mind, James Gunn has weird taste, and he prefers Damian Wayne and Guy Gardner for his Green Lantern. And all the motherfuckers got weird taste. Holy crap. Given the previous DCEU's commercial shortcomings, that's an understatement. You mean fucking failures. And underwhelming results for the 2023 release. No, for the entirety of its existence, it was a failure. But then again, I'll play nice. The Flash, DC Studios appears to be taking a cautious approach to expanding beyond Batman. Outside of anything Batman related, DC will most likely wait to react to how Superman performs before deciding on which superhero from their library to tackle next. The Insider told The Wrap, greenlighting Supergirl may seem risky, but it extends the new universe they're trying to establish, and it shows a commitment to the larger brand. Supergirl can have pulled just because people know her because of Superman. Like Supergirl is known. That's a pretty decently known character amongst casuals. So that's not what my argument when it comes to Marvel when they do this is like they're choosing characters that comic book fans would find fucking nothing burgers, and they think that casuals would definitely don't know who the fuck they are, think that they can just make big live action movies out of these characters and go, hey, I invested $200 million into a fucking, I don't know, a Baron Zemo movie. Why no one watch? You surprised? Come on. I will say this, and keep in mind, people don't like it when I use this argument, but I always use this argument. I don't care if they only use big characters. Why? Because if it makes money, and that's the only thing that's making money. Keep in mind, people went to watch the Bulls because Michael Jordan played. People went to watch the Lakers because Kobe Bryant played. People watched the Cavs because LeBron was playing, or the Heat, or whatever. Yeah, people want to go see the star players. Yeah, I'm not trying to see a bunch of bench warmers. Sorry. Get more popular. I don't know. Fucking hell. Like, get better writers, make those comics better, and then you can get some popularity. Batman, Flash, Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman at this point now. All these guys. The big hitters need to have movies first. I'm sorry. Like, it's just how it works. I don't make the fucking rules, but I'd rather not watch a bunch of bench warmers play. I'd rather see the main team play. Sorry.
Use the big ones to support the little ones. Like, Corn Sweats. Let's say that Superman does good, and then Supergirl does good. That brings in Lobo. So that'll be interesting. We don't know which characters are going to hit off from the Superman movie if it does do good. So we might see Hawk Girl spin off into a movie, or we might see, we're already going to see Guy Gardner in the Lantern series, as well as Guy Gardner and Hawk Girl in Peacemaker, and with a debut or with a big special guest. So there's even possibility of seeing Superman in Peacemaker 2. Or they're going to premiere another big person in Peacemaker. So yeah, let those big names support the little names, like especially when this gets going. It's one thing Marvel didn't do enough of. Like Captain America should have showed up in the Black Widow movie, or Hawkeye. Or there should have been more like a guest appearances where you could focus still on you could focus on Captain America, but we can have some cool guest appearances and ride-alongs and to help boost up and make it bring in more people. So yeah, they should be using the big characters to support the little ones.
Yeah, like if you want to have team up movies like Green Arrow, Green Lantern, like maybe take it from that story, Traveling Heroes, Traveling Buddies, do that. Like they could experiment with like duo movies more than Marvel can, in my opinion, because their names will just carry the movie itself just to get people in the door. Keep in mind, you have to get people in the door. If they want to do movies on characters that are obscure, you have to build to that. I'm sorry. It's like we're not going to be in that Marvel period they had where they could just take random characters and give them to you guys. And you guys would eat it up. We're not in that time period anymore. We don't have that luxury of money flowing into these movies like it used to be. We have to be realistic with what the situation is. People keep saying these narratives as if like we're in 2012. Like, no, guys, we're not in that narrative. The narratives change. You guys do not watch movies from characters you do not know anything about. It's proven. That's not my opinion. That's factual based off the numbers. Sorry, this is what it is. You do not watch movies based on characters you have no idea who they know. You don't watch characters based off. You don't watch characters for movies you don't know them. You don't know them at all. That's just what it is at this point now. And we know that from Check's Notes, Black Adam, Birds of Prey, Blue Beetle. Let's go Marvel. Shang-Chi, Eternals. Okay. Thunderbolts. Guys even watched Sam Wilson, Captain America. That failed. Sergeant Rock film to be directed by Luca Guadagnino. And with Colin Farrell in talks to star, was scrapped in April, further underlying the caution ahead of Superman. I don't think anyone really wanted that, if I'm being honest here. No one knows who that fucking character is, honestly. Another movie, Clayface, secured a fall 2026 release date, but is still undergoing script changes before it moves into production. The Batman Part 2 starts filming in 2026, but that film is outside DC Studios continuity and essentially exists in its own universe. The Insider added Supergirl is a much safer bet than, say, Sergeant Rock. Yeah, gee, you think? which, despite a good package, is a property with zero awareness in the greater landscape. There are much better superheroes ripe for adaptation in the DC library. Yeah, Green Arrow, Green Lantern. You're doing a show based off lanterns, you know? Hey, I think if you make a different Flash movie and you give people a better Flash actor, I know it'll do well this time around. Don't be scared to do Flash again, please. This careful strategy is not only cognizant of the cooler market for the superhero genre, even Marvel's last two films have failed to crack $500 million, but also reflects lessons learned from the previous Warner's regime's failure. The Snyder DC Extended Universe, the Snyder era DC Extended Universe began with Man of Steel's $670 million worldwide gross in 2013. But Batman vs. Superman suffered a 69% second weekend drop despite a strong $166 million opening, while Wonder Woman was a critical and commercial hit in 2017, taking in $824 million worldwide, and 2018's Aquaman was the first to crack $1 billion. Keep in mind, Wonder Woman solo movie made more than a Batman Superman movie. That goes to show you this universe was already fucking going down a fucking hole of trash. The franchise crashed and burned with the reshoots plagued Justice League, which opened to just $93.1 million domestically and failed to match even Man of Steel with $661 million worldwide. The stewardship of DC has undergone considerable turnover, especially in contrast to the consistency of Marvel under Kevin Feige's leadership. Greg Silverman served as president of creative development and worldwide production at Warner Brothers and launched the DCEU with 2013's Man of Steel. He also oversaw Batman vs. Superman before being ousted at the end of 2016. John Berg and Jeff Johns then took over and launched DC Films in May of 2016, overseeing the launch of Wonder Woman, the DCEU's top domestic grosser at $413 million. Following the failure of Justice League, Berg stepped down. 6 months later, Jeff Johns followed. Yeah, Jeff Johns wasn't having it. I love how, remember back then they did that little cute little crossover video with him and Kevin Feige? Yeah, people were like, oh, they're crossover. No, they're not. One was like, this is fine. House is burning down. Kevin Feige's like, I'm just raking in billions of dollars right now. In January 2018, Walter Hamada joined DC Films and led the division to the successful film Aquaman, but he left DC Films in October 2022 after Zaslav took over, subsequently tapping Gunn and Safran to run the division. Man, Snyder fans were all over Walter Hamada, if you guys remember. They were blaming him for everything. Yeah, that guy was definitely gone after the way he was treated. Yeah, he was just the fall guy after this whole universe collapsed. Before Gunn and Safran's hiring, Warner Brothers Pictures chiefs Michael DeLuca and Pam Abdy briefly tried to get a standalone Henry Cavill-led Superman film going in 2022, with Michael Bay eyed to possibly direct
explosions.
Michael Bay directing a Superman movie. That would either be cinema of cinema or garbage of trash.
It's either going to be the greatest thing ever, or just the absolute
worst thing to ever
movie ever created.
God, please kill me. According to two insiders, a spokesperson for WB denies this claim. Zaslav resurrected DC operations after the Discovery Warner Media merger, siloing Gunn and Safran from the larger Warner Brothers Picture Group. The duo report directly to Zaslav, not to DeLuca and Abby. This mirrors the successful Marvel success in Marvel right now. It's not. This was a cool structure when they were doing good, but not now. This mirrors the successful Marvel Studio structure and represents a complete organizational overhaul from the previous regime. Earlier this month, during the studio's, this is a double V. I want to delete that. Earlier this month, during the studio's first quarter earnings call, Zaslav underlined how critical he sees DC as a pillar of his IP approach. He says, and I quote, when you look at the major characters that James Gunn and Peter Safran are developing with their 10-year plan around DC, this is to build asset value for us globally, everywhere in the world. Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman, Supergirl, he said. We look at those as big asset builders and big differentiators. Yeah, he highlighted that these are the most important IPs to them. Supergirl getting elevated to that is so weird because no, why is Green Lantern or Flash not considered that. What? Supergirl? I like Kara. I really do. But like David, Supergirl? Really? Not like Green Lantern or Flash or Green Arrow? You know?
Yeah.
All right, Dev. All right. I guess the success of Warner Brothers film slate in 2025 so far between a Minecraft movie, Sinners, and Final Destination Bloodlines has likely given Superman something of a cushion when it comes to the company's bottom line. No, it hasn't. That's a stupid. Superman doing well has nothing to do with any of these. You fucking weirdo, dumb fuck. Like that'll be whatever. I'm not doing this tonight. I'm okay. Breathe, woosah. But as for Zaslav's plans to set the stage for consistent superhero hits from DC Studios, Superman needs to make a great first impression with fans that promises this isn't yet another interconnected DC universe destined to fizzle out. Yeah, I think what Warren said is true. It's gonna do. Think about what Venom did back when that movie dropped. It's probably gonna do even better than that movie. And then the next movie, depending how Superman is, that'll carry the box office. If you want to look at it as an example. Early signs suggest Superman has overcome one of the DCEU's biggest problems. Good Lord, I had to sneeze there. Audience apathy. The film's DC trailer. Oh my God. Oh, I can't read. I just sneezed there. My whole brain fried. Sorry about that, guys. My whole brain just fucking fried there. Early signs suggest Superman has overcome one of the DCEU's biggest problems, audience apathy. The film's December trailer became the most viewed and the most talked about trailer in the history of both DC and Warner Brothers, according to Gunn, with over 250 million views while generating more than 1 million social posts across various platforms. Yeah, the way the DCEU began with Man of Steel, the BVS audiences hated it. Don't the Snyder Bros fool you. This shit was not liked. This shit was really, really shitted on.
Oh no, the Snyder Bros are a small little whiny group.
They were like, "Oh, the movies did so well." Yeah, the movies they didn't really. I mean, profit wise is debatable, but we're talking about actual quality of movie. No, people hated those fucking movies, and they were trash. They were trashed on. Maybe I lived in a different time period where every person I talked to had nothing but bad things to say about those movies. Every person I talked to had nothing but horrible things to say about Zack Snyder's Superman movies. The cast and Gunn kick off a month-long global press tour in June that will see them traveling to London, Paris, and Rio de Janeiro before returning stateside. Warner Brothers is pulling out all the stops. The new Superman movie looks like a total return to form for DC, with the new trailer for the film proving to be absolutely epic. Paul D. Garabedian, senior media analyst at Comscore, told The Wrap, if you look at the number of views that each of these trailers have received on YouTube, you can see that there's a groundswell of interest in the Superman movie. Can it hold, and will it be enough? While most industry insiders are bullish on Superman, the degree of that success will likely determine the future of Gunn and Safran's universe-building strategy. We'll find out in July. Also, even in the comics, they're doing this whole big Summer of Superman initiative. He's getting a reprint of his first appearances in the Superman Golden Age omnibus. He got the DC's finest for superhero collection. He's getting a new Treasury edition. He's getting a lot of stuff, man. It's so cool to have him get all this stuff. I fucking love it. I absolutely love it. Give me more Superman stuff. I can't get enough of it, you know? But I'll ask you, man, closing thoughts on this?
Yeah, this is it for DC. They need this to work. I think, but the thing is, though, is that even if it doesn't do incredible, let's say it just does good, that'll be a good momentum in for Supergirl. I think that what I'd like to hear is more about what the plans are for Wonder Woman, Flash. I know Green Lantern. We're going to see Hal Jordan and John in the series. I don't know if Kyle's going to be in it, but I also know. So I know they're building that up, and I think this is going to be a launch for them. The 10-year plan they have will be kind of mirror the success that the Marvel 10-year plan had. I might be a little bit optimistic, but I really think that they're going to pull it off. What the problem is, though, is that eventually it'll fall to what Marvel did, where the better they do, the more chances of studio interference to start happening. We'll see how long James Gunn has control. We'll see how the rest of these output is. We'll see. Right now, he isn't getting much pressure. He's allowed to do what he wants. We'll see if he still gets to do that. But yeah, I think Superman. I got high hopes for it, and I think it's going to be good for DC. I think that we're going to see the DC era movies starting in June with Superman. I think Marvel is.
Don't give me that Hawkeye.
Yeah, I think.
Don't give me hope.
I think it is. I think it's going to be the DC era because DC is going to have 2 years of nothing Marvel worth the darn coming out in order to just reign supreme before Avengers Doomsday.
Speaking
or whatever
of apathy, as the article talked about with the DCEU, we're going off just that apathy point.
Yeah.
That's what Marvel fans feel about Marvel now, which is so crazy how things have turned after all these years. When Marvel was in their prime, people were like, damn, I wish DC could have something like this. Years later, after Marvel's kind of blown their load, their prime's over with the MCU. It's changed now. Now who's apathetic at their universe now? Oh, shit. Damn. But for me, yeah, the movie has to take in at least about, if we're going off the budget, which is $225, yeah, it's going to need at least $850 to $900 million to be profitable. That's what it is. But if people think it's going to do $1 billion, or I think it'll do very similar to what the Venom movie did. It's going to make a big splash, and depending on the quality of movie, that'll carry over to the next ones, But that quality of movie has to stick because DC's thing has always been consistency. In that previous universe, you'd watch something really good. The next one would be the worst thing you've ever seen in your entire life. And that's not good. Audiences do not like that, dude. They don't like up and down. And it's the same way my wife does. We have constant sex, honestly. But yeah, looking forward to seeing Superman and can't wait to have it be here. But the whole Summer of Superman is here. So I would say go and read some Superman comic books out there, guys. That would be a good thing for you to brush up on the Man of Steel. Specifically, All-Star Superman, which is what the movie's based on. So you would know like what they changed as far as comic book to movie. So thank you guys for checking out this video. If you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, and we're going to sign out, guys. See you guys later. Peace.